Hey everyone, welcome back to NDC, and today we're going to be talking about control groups. Because let's say you have 3 buttons in a toolbar, maybe same 3 buttons in a menu, maybe inline in a card, or somewhere on the screen. If you're building that with an HStack, it's a lot of work, and you'll actually end up writing 3 different layouts for the same semantic group. But we can actually replace all of this code with a simple control group. This is the container or any related controls, and it picks the right layout for wherever you put it. We'll be going through creating a simple editor view, and you'll notice that when we place items within a toolbar, a control group on its own, or even a menu, it actually automatically styles it. So in this example, we have a control group for undo and redo, the bold and italics actions, and then even more actions in a menu, and it's all styled automatically. So if you're interested in learning more about the basics and customizations of control groups, let's go ahead and dive on in. Alright, let's explore the control group in its simplest form. We're going to be wrapping controls that belong together. Now I'm going to be starting off in a blank project on Xcode. So to create a control group, we're going to go ahead and reference it with the capital C and the capital G. Then we're going to add our brace, and we're going to have buttons that belong together. So I'm going to create a button, and we'll give this one a label of undo. Now I'm going to add my brace, and any action that would happen in a real app would go here. We're then going to create a separate button, and let's have this one be redo. Undo and redo are typically things that are found together. Now we can see in our preview, we have the undo and redo button. We can press on them separately, and it kind of looks like a segmented controller, but essentially we have 2 buttons grouped with the system's native inline styling. There's no HStack and no manual spacing. There's also a slot for a label 2 for when a group might need a title. So let's create a new control group. We'll add our brace, we'll put our buttons again, so maybe this time I'll do edit and delete. And then at the ending brace of the control group, we can add our label, colon, and then a brace. And from here, we can include any view that we'd like. So if you want to do text, I think I'm just going to do a simple label view, something that says actions. And I'll include a system image here of the square and pencil. Now, with a bunch of SwiftUI views, you may notice that the label doesn't always show. There's a couple ways to fix this. The first one is we can actually add it within a form, and I feel like with a lot of control groups, you're going to find them within forms. Now we can see the actions at the top, and edit and delete, and you'll notice now they're actually stacked vertically. And this brings me to my next point. This is the part that the HStack can't give you. This same control group renders differently depending on where you put it. We see it inside the form, and we notice that it has things stacked vertically. If we were to change this to instead be a menu, and we'll go ahead and give this the title of edit, and we'll remove our custom label here. Now when we press on the menu, we'll see that same control group, but it exists with these kind of different built-in buttons. Let's go ahead and add a third one here. Maybe this one will be paste. And notice it updates automatically, and it kind of keeps the same sizing with that pill shape. Inside a menu, the group flattens to a compact horizontal strip, which is the system style for menu action clusters. So all we did here was write buttons. We didn't style them from the menu, the group did. Let's look at the same pattern, but this time in a toolbar. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of our menu, and instead we'll have a navigation stack. Add our brace here, make sure you add a brace afterwards. Then we'll add some quick text. We'll just have it say something like document. Afterwards, we'll add our .toolbar brace. Again, you'll want to make sure you're wrapping the braces up. And then we're going to right click on our control group, embed, and we'll use our toolbar item. Now we can see in the top right of our preview here, and you can also run this on the simulator, we have our edit, delete, and paste button all the way in the top right. And this is kind of spaced the way iOS expects. We have 3 placements and actually just 1 declaration, which is the control group. Let's talk a little bit more about custom styles. So when these built-ins don't fit, maybe a segmented bar on a card, a vertical stack and a sidebar, you can write your own style. So in the left side of Xcode, we're going to go ahead and create a new empty Swift file, and we'll call it segmented style. In this new file, we're going to start off by importing SwiftUI. Then we're going to create a struct, and we'll call it segmented style. We'll add a colon and then ControlGroupStyle. We can see that this defines the implementation of all control groups within a view hierarchy. We'll go ahead and add our brace, and we'll add our function of makeBody. There should be an autofill there for you. Within the makeBody, this is where we can really customize how our control groups are going to look and feel. For mine, I'm going to make it an HStack with a spacing of 0. Then within the brace, I'm going to have the configuration.content. So this is how I'm configuring all of the content within the control group. Right now, I'm basically saying, hey, I want to have an HStack, and then within that HStack, I'm going to have all the content. Then I'm going to add some modifiers like padding of perhaps 4. Maybe I'm going to add a background with a custom color. Let's do gray.opacity 0.4, maybe 0.2. That'll be more subtle. And then I want it to have a clip shape. And for me, I like my rounded rectangle with a corner radius. I'm going to do that of 8. Oh, and make sure you have a dot for the color there. So this configuration basically hands you the content in a single view. You pick the container. Like I mentioned before, we're doing HStack, and I'm making a rounded pill around it. Now let's go ahead and apply it to a view. Just going to go ahead and get rid of our navigation stack here. We'll do another control group. Add the brace. I'll just add a few more buttons again. Perfect. And then after the control group, we'll do the .ControlGroupStyle. And within the argument brackets, we can see we actually have a few of them for us: automatic, compact menu, menu, navigation, palette, or we can actually remove the dot and reference our segmented style with the empty brackets. And now we can see we have our day, week, and month. It's a little bit tight, so if we ever wanted to, we could come back to the segmented style, and let's update that spacing to maybe 20. We'll wait for our preview to refresh here, and we should see that now we have that custom style with even more spacing between each of the buttons. One more pattern worth kind of exploring: horizontal when there's room and vertical where there isn't. So I'm actually going to make another new empty file here, and I'm going to call it adaptive style. Once again, we'll import SwiftUI. We'll create that struct. We'll call it adaptive style. Going to conform to the control group style. Add our brace, our function of make body. And for our code, we're going to use the ViewThatFits. And we'll add our brace. We'll then declare our HStack, add our brace, and we'll have our configuration.content. Then we'll have our VStack, add our brace again, and we'll have our configuration.content. So ViewThatFits essentially picks the first layout that fits. HStack wins when there's room, and then VStack, or stacking things vertically, is the fallback. Let's go back to our content view where we had the days of the week, and instead of the control group style, let's use that adaptive style that we just made. And we can see right now it's saying, okay, horizontal fits, it's all good. I'm happy with that. If we were to add a frame here, let's set the max width. Let's try 140. Make it a little bit smaller, 80. We can see now that the frame is too small horizontally. It's saying, okay, I don't have enough room horizontally. I'm going to go to the fallback of VStack, and now they're stacked vertically. There's no media queries, no geometry reader math. It's basically just like, hey, I can't fit horizontally. Let me now swap to a vertical. And this is great too, especially if you have like custom labels or even like adding additional things to the control group. It'll make sure that it always fits the best. Okay, let's go ahead and now put it all together. I'm going to make a new file from template here. I'm going to do my SwiftUI view, and let's call it the editor view. Here, we're going to have a text editor with an undo redo group, a formatting group, and an overflow menu. So every group uses the content it's dropped into. Let's go ahead and remove our placeholder of hello world, and we're going to add one state variable at the top. So one state private var, we'll call it text, and it's going to equal by default hello world. Now within the variable body of some view, we're going to start off with a navigation stack. We'll add a brace, and I'm going to have a text editor within here. And I'm going to pass through the text binding of text. Add a little bit of padding here. And I'll have a navigation title as well. We'll say editor. Wonderful. Now after this, I want to make sure that we have that toolbar. We'll add a brace. Then we're going to use the toolbar item group. We can also include some placement within the brackets. And for me, I'm going to do the dot bottom bar. After the toolbar item group, we're going to add an additional brace here. I know there's a lot of nesting going on. and we're going to have that control group. For this one, I'm going to have my undo and redo actions. So button, we'd have our action. Again, in a real app, you'd want to call upon a function here. Within the braces, we'll have our image. Again, we'll use our system name here for those SF symbols. We'll do the arrow.uturn backward. I'm just going to copy and paste this button here, and instead of backward, we'll do forward. If we take a quick peek, we can see in the bottom toolbar right now, we have those arrows representing undo and redo. Okay, let's go down 2 braces and we'll create a separate control group. For this control group, maybe because we're using a text editor, I want to have things that are, bold or italics. So I'm just going to paste my button once again. And there is actually a system name for bolding. And you can see it uses that capital B that it's bolded. Paste the button again, and for this system name, let's go ahead and do the italic one. Then after our control group, so we'll go down 2 braces, we'll add a menu. Let's give it a title of maybe actions. Add a brace, and we'll include that last control group we're exploring here. And we'll have a couple buttons. This one will just say copy, and then this one will be paste. Again, in a real app, obviously you'd want to handle these appropriately. Okay, so let's take a look at what we've built. So we kind of have this editor app, and maybe people can do the text editing. And then at the bottom toolbar, we'd have the undo and redo buttons down here, the ability to bold, italics, and then we have this additional actions all the way in the very bottom, which brings up that additional menu. I have to unselect the text editor here, hold on. There we go. And when we press on the actions, you'll notice it actually goes away, and then we have the copy, and we also have the paste. We can press on each one of these buttons in order to call upon those actions in a real app. But you can see how the control group is automatically styled, but it's essentially the same control group call in all 3 layouts that we can see here. So 1, 2, and then our third one, which is embedded within that menu. So control group is essentially a semantic hint. These controls belong together. The layout is the context's job, not yours. Custom styles for the cases that the defaults don't cover. We went super duper basic with our segmented style. You can of course adjust this content as much as you want. You can even change things like the text style, the foreground style, etc., like you normally would do in a SwiftUI view. So if you want it to all be purple or blue or a certain background, even gradient, it's totally up to you. And the adaptive style, we had used that ViewThatFits. So if we had a lot of items in the control group, instead of going horizontally like it does by default, it would then try to adapt it to vertical. As a quick rule of thumb, keep these groups small. 2 to maybe 4 controls is what I would say to be the sweet spot. And next time you reach for the HStack for a set of buttons, instead reach for the control group. You'll thank yourself later. If you found this helpful, like, comment, and subscribe. Dream big, code bigger, and we'll see you in the next one.